There's a new Lauri Markkanen trade rumor. This comes from Jake Fisher on the Stein line today. A lot of the speculation has been Detroit wants Lauri Markkanen. That's turning out to be very, very true. But we've kind of heard trade deals that come from the Detroit point of view, mainly being a package something like Jaden Ivey, Ron Holland, Tobias Harris, and picks for Markkanen. And the question is, how many picks? Well, today we learned that what that asking price might actually be for Markkanen, potentially from the Jazz side. This comes from Fisher. He says, another likely obstacle that should be factored into the persistent Markkanen to Detroit speculation. Utah would almost certainly want Thompson in return, Ausar Thompson. Sources say that the Jazz, in fact, considered trading up to select him during the 2023 NBA draft. The Pistons, as you can imagine, do not want to trade their Thompson twin. The Jazz hope to be competitive in 2026 and 27 and have signaled to rival teams that any trade offers they are prepared to consider, whether they target Markkanen or otherwise, have to keep them competitive. Utah, in other words, is not looking for a repeat of the Rudy Gobert or Donovan Mitchell deals that focused on stockpiling draft compensation. Markkanen indeed became an all-star after Utah acquired him, and it's believed that the Jazz greatly value his capability to lead them back to postseason play. So, whether you agree that Markkanen can lead the Jazz to postseason play or not, it's clear that Utah wants a good player in return, and that would be Ausar Thompson if they trade Markkanen. So this is a little bit of shades of Donovan Mitchell in that the Jazz might be smoke screening that they just love Markkanen, he's a part of the future, kind of like they said for Donovan Mitchell, or it could be that they just legitimately believe that and would like to just move forward with Lauri Markkanen. Utah would 100% in this scenario also want some sort of draft compensation. They would also be taking on Tobias Harris, who would be just immediately part of that Detroit core of Duren, Cade, and then Lauri. Finally, if you don't think Detroit is all that interested, Jake Fisher also goes on to say, and yes, rival executives have frequently suggested Utah's Lauri Markkanen as an ideal player for the Pistons to target. You can understand why, too. Utah dangled Markkanen on the trade block 2 summers ago before inking the high-scoring forward to a massive extension. Then, last June, Detroit was said to be weighing free agent runs at a variety of 7-foot floor spacers from Naz Reid to Miles Turner and Santi Aldama. Want more connections between Detroit and Markkanen? Don't forget that Pistons head coach J.B. Bickerstaff coached Markkanen in Cleveland. Also, before the Finnish flamethrower even got to the Cavaliers via the first sign-and-trade of his career, sources say Pistons lead decision-maker Trajan Langdon, then with New Orleans as a top aide to David Griffin, was pushing for the Pelicans to pursue Markkanen as a restricted free agent. So that's an interesting thing. I know that the Jazz had some sort of deal with Mike Conley and the Pelicans, so there is a connection before they ended up doing the Minnesota trade. There's a connection there with the Pelicans, and that's interesting that that's the person that it was. So all of these are interconnected. The Pistons want Markkanen, and if they want him, they're going to have to give up Ausar Thompson, potentially, and that may not even be 100% what the Jazz want to make it happen. But if they do, an Ausar Thompson deal would be nice for Utah. He would be an immediate defensive upgrade for the Utah, who has one of the worst defenses in the NBA. Thompson is first-team All-NBA defense caliber, and could also potentially develop along the same timeline as the Utah Jazz young core, Ace Bailey, Keontae George, potentially Walker Kessler if they make a deal. So it's going to be something really interesting to watch. We'll see if this turns into anything, but one thing is for sure, Detroit wants Lauri Markkanen. The question is Utah willing to trade him if the Pistons give them what they want? We'll see. Like and subscribe to the channel, guys. I'll talk to you next time.